say shit you too scared to say. I'm a real bitch now, deal with it. I'm a real bitch now, deal with it. We say shit you too scared to say. I'm a real bitch now.
You're tuned into Raw Real Talk, where we give you the real deal, where we keep it 100 with you at all times. And on this segment, we are talking about an 11-year-old girl that was brutally raped by 28 men. Their age range from 14 to 27. And if in fact I'm incorrect about the age ranges, please forgive me. But one fact that we do know is that somebody, a young baby, 11-year-old girl, was raped. This is so sickening to me because it hurts me that she is being blamed. People saying it's her fault. She pretended to be older than what she was. She dressed provocative. She drinks. She hang around people that's older than her. So I think about myself, me being a woman. And I don't care if I decided to go around acting like I'm old, I'm young, I'm a man, I'm a baby, I'm Superman, Spider-Man, Wonder Woman, a fireman, firewoman. I don't give a damn what I'm pretending to be. That gives you no right to rape me, to take my free will. And for anybody who agrees and say that this is her fault, you're a rapist as well. And what rapists don't understand is that they are murdering that woman. That is murder. You say, how so? Because you murder the spirit. You murder everything she thought she could have been, should have been, and had the freedom to do, and the will and the courage to do. You murder that. And it hurts me that in this time, this day and age, with everything that's going on in the world today, all this world crisis, we have the nerve to still come up with some negative energy to produce. You ask yourself, what was in these men's head? How foul, callous, and sinister can you be? They're sick in their minds, they're sick in their souls, they're sick in their hearts, and they need help. And you ask yourself, reforming them, is that worth it? Everybody deserves another chance, so you say. But if it was your sister, your mother, your wife, your child, what would you say? What would you do to these men? What would you want to happen to these men? See, we talk a lot of shit. We do a lot of judgment and saying, oh, she deserved that. It was her fault. Pointing fingers. But if it was you, what would you do? And I look around and hear people talking about 2012. What's going to happen? Is the world going to end? But you're looking at the world in disaster now. We never really think about anything until it's right at your doorstep. But if you look out your window, you're going to see the mess. It's so messy out there. And these men are just so sick. They're so sick. And when I looked at their pictures, it's just something in their eyes. You just know they need to be fixed. So I said, if the world was to end 2012, where do you think you're going? All of these people, all of these evildoers, all of these people that just putting out negative energy for no reason, where you think you're going? 2012 is right around the corner. See, we're being bamboozled. It's a big illusion going on out there. All this entertainment, we're so entertained, commercialized with all this trinkets and money and worrying about sex and all of this. But you're not worried about the big plan, the big picture of the real puppeteers. And you're the puppets. And we don't realize that. We thinking, oh, it's just another day, just another incident. All I know is that baby has to deal with this for the rest of her life, whether these men go to jail or whether they die or whether they get off. She still have to deal with what she has to deal with. She has to deal with the fact that she was raped, that they took something from her. And like I said, if it was me, and you think about if it was you, if you decided to go say, oh, I'm really 21, but I'm playing 25. What does it got to do with you getting raped? And like I said, anybody that says this is this baby's fault, you a sick, twisted rapist as well, because you're raping her emotionally. You siding with the assailant. Are you sick? Are you crazy? Are you twisted? Apparently so. Somebody has to speak up. We have to step up. If not now, when? If not us, who? Who are we looking to save us from this world disaster? And for those of you who believe in religion and believe in God and believe in Jesus Christ, and we have all of these things out there, all of these religious dogmas, but we're not really looking at the center of what it really boils down to. So far, nobody can prove anything but one thing right now, that we're going through a world crisis. That's what we can identify with right now. But we're so looking for something to come after this. We're not even paying attention to what we're living in right now. We're living in such infested, brutalized crisis now. And we're so concerned about the future, Where will our future be? What is our future going to be? And every day we're dealing with this. This is just one example. How many women do you think and children get raped and molested every day? Just because you hear about this one thing, does that exempt the rest? Think about that. Like what's going on in Japan. We think because that just one thing that's just happening, we totally forget about what happened in Haiti. We're not thinking about those things because we're like, it's in the past. Those people that did those negative things don't want to live up to the responsibility that they messed up. They did some cruel, terrible things. Just like slavery, they did some terrible, cruel things. We're still in modern day slavery as of now. But we're so worried about, like I said, entertainment, sex, going to clubs, drinking, smoking, doing all of that nonsense. But it ain't going to change the fact that this baby was raped. We have rape victims every single day being brutally raped and then killed. Now, this baby's spirit was killed, was murdered. And I asked myself, where did we go wrong? Where did I go wrong as a person? What are we going to do to step up as humanity to unite? We have to start uniting as one. We're so worried about ourselves that we're not worried about the next man, worried about our fellow man. We only want to come up and stepping on people while we're trying to get up there. You know why? Because our egos. Our egos are so big, we're only concerned about ourselves. We're not concerned about the greater good. And these men that raped this girl, they're such cowards. Any man or any person that got to steal pussy and kill somebody doing it, you a sick, twisted soul. Think about that. What is in your mind? What is in your heart? What is in your head? Was you that powerless that you had to take an 11-year-old girl to show and exemplify your power? What is wrong with you? And anybody that ever witnessed something like this, if you do not speak up, you are just as guilty. If you stand by and watch a murder, you stand by and watch somebody being bullied, you stand by and watch any evil act, and you don't say something, do something to try to make a difference in the positive direction, to stand up for the victim, to stand up for ourselves. We have to do something as humanity as a whole. That is what we're doing here at Raw Real Talk. We're doing our best to promote humanity while giving you the truth. And some people don't want to hear the truth. Some people don't want to hear that a baby been raped. 11-year-old girl got raped. This happens every day. We don't want to hear that. We want to hear gossip about celebrities, but we don't want to hear the truth that a baby was raped. What are you going to do about it? What am I going to do about it? What is humanity going to do about it? Don't you realize sex crimes are crimes that always tend to get swept under the rug, especially rape and molestation and pedophiles? You got to really look at that. And we're not really looking at the bigger picture. We worried about all this money. Like I said, these trinkets, these cars, these clothes. But in the end result, brothers and sisters, when you die, none of this is going with you, regardless of how you feel about it, how hard you feel you worked, feel you've been through. Now, one thing people do remember you by is your good and bad deeds. So if you was messed up and real twisted in your head and you did sick stuff, people's going to remember you as a sick individual. And you got to remember, if you lay down with evil, you will birth the devil, period. And every time we do evil, we're making little devils, negative energy. Please think about it. Really wrap your minds around what's going on in your world right now. A lot of us is very dumbed down with the global crisis. We only worried about, like I said, what's in our household. And we're so worried about everything else. But we are not worried about how can we eradicate crisis? How can we eradicate negative energy? How can we start advocating positive energy? Everybody's on their own trips, their own ego trips. That's why we have all these different organizations doing different things, and everybody want to be on top. Everybody want to be recognized for what they do. Don't worry about that. Do what you do and be good, and therefore people will love you. People will know you. And regardless of being known, the most important thing is if you know yourself. And these brothers that participated in this act, they didn't love themselves. They're cowards. They're weak. They are not real men, but by gender. And if that is sick, and whomever agrees with this, you're sick. So if you feel that is something that made you feel better by saying, oh, she deserved that, then you're a rapist as well. And you're twisted as well. And I wanted and needed to get this out. And I hope that I didn't offend the victim in any kind of way. But I needed to speak out for her and for the ones that are hurting, just like she's hurting. Because like I said, this is just one of many cases. And I do love humanity, but I don't love what you're doing. And what I'm being angry at is your act. The mental and physical and emotional cruelty you put on this young baby. And I pray for you. I would pray that you heal yourself and that you apologize to yourself and to that baby for what you have done. But you have murdered her. You murdered her spirit. You murdered everything that she thought she could be. And by the grace of God, I hope and pray that she recover from this. And we got to see what can we do so we can do our best to interrupt and destroy negative energy. God bless.